If you do any photo or video work, it is essential you have a colour accurate display. So what do you do if your display isn't looking quite right? I wonder. Out of the factory, most displays come out super saturated, super bright and extra vibrant, just so they look as appealing as possible to the customer. They may look pretty, but they ain't accurate, my friend. That's where a device like the i1 display by X-rite comes in. This tiny little device can measure the colours and brightness of your display, and from that create custom profiles to make your display as accurate as possible. There's a few different models of this calibrator. There's the Studio, there's the Pro, and the Pro Plus. The main difference between them is what screens they can actually calibrate. The Pro can calibrate displays, projectors, and even mobile phones. The main difference between the Pro and the Pro Plus is that the Plus can measure high brightness and HDR displays like the one we have here. The only other difference being the Studio version of this doesn't use their high-end app, it uses its own Studio app, which is like the more basic cut-down version of the calibration app. It's fairly straightforward to use. You just download X-rite's Profiler app and choose between basic or advanced mode. I'd recommend using advanced as it gives you more control over your settings. The big one being you can choose a higher sample count, so it will measure your screen more during calibration, making it even more accurate. Once you've dialed in your settings, you then hit start measurement. It will then prompt you to remove the cap from your device, plonk it on your screen. It will then cycle through a bunch of different colours, taking its initial measurement. And depending on your settings, it might ask you to put the diffuser cap back on, place it in front of your display, so it can measure the ambient light in your room. That way, it can customize your profile even more for you, depending on the environment you're working in. It also works on Macs. You don't have to use X-rite's Display Profiler app though. A lot of people use DisplayCal, mainly for its super in-depth settings and much more detailed measurement reports, and it is of course completely compatible with the i1 display. And if you have a professional colour monitor, such as this BenQ one we have here, they can sometimes come with their own software. BenQ's one is also compatible with the Calibrator, but it loads the profiles directly onto the monitor itself, leaving the need for any extra apps in Windows and running in the background, switching your profiles for you. And you're done! You successfully calibrated your display. You can now go ahead and edit all the photos and videos you want, knowing your display is as good as it can be. Now it's not super cheap for one of these. The Studio comes in at around about £140, £150, and the Pro and the Pro Plus are more like £225, £250. It might seem quite expensive, but it is aimed more at professionals, and when you compare it to other calibrators on the market, it's actually quite competitive. X-rite and many other brands working in the colour accurate market all tell you to calibrate your display once every month, otherwise you're not going to be getting the best colours possible. This might be true, but really, unless you're doing super colour critical work, you only really need to calibrate display if you start noticing it not looking as good. Maybe I would suggest seeing if you could rent one of these, because instead of forking out all that money just to use the device once and then it will sit in your cupboard for, God knows how long, and then you use it again every now and then, why not spend something like, I don't know what the prices are, maybe like 20 quid to rent this for a day, calibrate all your displays in your house, and then you're done. You didn't have to spend 250 quid on it. And then all your displays start going out of colour a year later, rent it again, another 20 quid. You're still nowhere near than the full price tag for this thing. If you are, however, on a lot of different shoots or working on a lot of different monitors, it might be quite handy to have one yourself. You can calibrate every display you use specifically for you, allowing you to edit on almost any machine that's handed to you. Overall, the i1 display is a super compact, simple and fast way to calibrate any monitor. So much so, I found myself running around my house calibrating almost any display I could. Although, if you've already bought a colour accurate display, kind of like this one, out of the box they should be pretty well tuned. But if you've had it for maybe a year or so, and you feel like the colours aren't as good as when you got it, this might be the perfect device to get in that display back to how it felt when you first got it. On the other side, if you're working on a monitor that's not so ideal, this device might be the perfect thing to bring that monitor closer to the accuracy you need. But yeah, my monitor, my TV, my laptop, so much better for working on photo and video from now on. But yeah, that's been the i1 display by X-rite. I've been Rob. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and thanks for watching. See you later.